Well, you guys, the three-headed monster strikes again. So, if you've been following the locale universe, then you know that a couple weeks ago, Billy got in trouble for drunk driving. On that show, which has been pulled off air at this point, um, they Rostov, rather than acting as community manager and saying, "Hey, we got to cut the stream because you're drunk driving with no shirt on," um, I mean, Billy, if and when you get arrested, that's it for your three-headed monster. That's going to be it for it. Okay? So let's cover this. Let's go into because they were incredibly rude to Ken yesterday on their show, and I don't watch their show, but I heard about it. I saw some highlights about it.
I basically said it. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. If that's how you fantasize about me, that ain't on me.
The problem is that you fucking won't shut the fuck up and get my name out of your mouth, bro. Like, I see how much you talk about me on your new show. It's all the time.
It tastes so good.
Rostov is incredibly sensitive right now because he's getting a lot of pushback from viewers about his behavior and how vicious he is about trying to fire people. See, the day after Billy got fired and Billy got drunk and Rostov recommended that Ken get fired, it happened. Ken was fired. And he actually tried to jump onto that last episode because the three of them cannot help but try and control the narrative in all circumstances. There's not going to be a single time that they ever take accountability for their failings, including Billy, who spent a week saying, no, I wasn't drunk. I was already sober. I'm a big boy. I have, I had already processed the alcohol before I drove. Okay. Except that he then went on test, and he and Nightmare both did an experiment of having a drink at the same time, the exact same kind of drink, and then breathing through a breathalyzer. And Billy's alcohol content was actually higher than Nightmare's, which means one of two things. That he has fucked up his body so severely that he doesn't process what he eats and consumes as quickly as somebody who is thinner than him and healthier. Or two, he already had started drinking before he did the show and did the breathalyzer. One of the two things happened.
I mean, you ordered it a little differently, but I'm gonna let that slide. It tastes so good.
I just don't know what your issue is, dude.
Yeah, what started all this?
A lot of times people ask me questions, so I got to answer it. And I even said, bro, that is the honest answer, right? I wasn't trying to pawn it off on the chat. I wasn't trying to say anything. That was the honest answer. And if you think about it, coming in out of this since I had just gotten fired, right, and Rostov got me fired, that was a big topic of the conversation, was his name. So obviously I'm going to say his.
Well, not only that, a lot of people within Ken's audience bring up the name, and he reads out comments oftentimes or addresses the audience while he's going through what he has to say. Rostov is just incredibly hypersensitive right now, as is the Queen's show as well, because those two shows are really fucking up right now with their content. And they even had to go so far as to get Keem to stop talking about the leaderboard because they're falling behind so severely. What would I do? I would put them on a 90-day probation of, first of all, none of this 6 hours bullshit. Put the three of them on one show in the middle of the goddamn night. The only person that could possibly help is Rostov, who quite frankly does not have an on-air personality. He should be working telesales.
Name. That's all this was, right? It wasn't whatever. They wanted to flip it and do all this other shit. Fine, whatever. I'm gonna continue. I'd said multiple times, because I remember Billy made the comment saying I have no honor blaming other people, and that's fine. He can say that. But what I said was, before my last goodbye stream, I straight up thought you got me fired, 100%. I admit that. But then you, Billy, and Zally came up and we had a conversation, and then this is what I said. And I've said that multiple times. After the stream was over, they came in, we talked. We had a nice little conversation. I'm not going to say what the context of the conversation was, because I'm not that type of person. But let's just say after we talked about it, I understood a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. I said, I own the fact I didn't make money because I suck at this. I was never here for the money. I don't give a damn about the paycheck like others. That's fine. I'm like, but, do I think that, let's just say, for example, if Keem brought it up to Rastov, did he defend me? No, I don't think he did. I think he said, yeah, maybe it's time to let Ken go. And that's cool, right? And it just felt very abrupt when it all happened. Like I couldn't even fit.
Well, had you been watching, first of all, they pulled the stream down, so you can't see it now. But I did watch it, and he wasn't suggesting it. He was saying straight up that Ken should be fired. Period. Rostov is a very insecure person and does not like anybody threatening his stupidity. Right? So and he feels very well protected by Billy the Drunk in this universe. Because if you remember, for those of you who have been following for quite some time, he could not go to Fat Camp because he claimed he couldn't get everything in order to go because he is basically on the dole in New Zealand for being disabled. And by being at these various events, he has to fake Charlie horses and shit so that he is not on video actually doing exercise. If you were truly disabled, as I am, Rostov, you wouldn't even have to think about it. It would be visual. People would see it. Somebody asked me to do jumping jacks. I'd say, why don't you let me learn how to walk again first? Because right now I'm using walkers. Okay?
Here's the month out, you know what I mean? And normally, and that's the truth, bro, because, unless you just royally fuck up and you got to go immediately, usually they let you finish the month out. So when I couldn't do that, I was like, oh, okay, fine. Sometimes when you're there that long and there's, you didn't royally fuck up, you know what I mean? They usually let you finish the month out. And that kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. And then
look
I
at Lacey.
there. Not even that though, right? And it's kind of like this too. It's like, I get fired, and then you got Billy in the drinking and driving, you got Gidgey in the N-word, you got CD-ROM, fucking. And I think people were just missing the whole entire point of me bringing all of that up. It was never about, they get to stay and I don't. It's the fact of I was drawing the circle of all the lines connecting, and I said it was all about money. That's all I was doing. I wasn't passing blame. I wasn't doing anything. I was just drawing a circle. And there's a whole big thing where, entertainment versus money, which we're going to get into that too. So I'll say my comments for that because I have a lot I want to say. But again, bro, I'm just laying it all out. This is how it all happened. Defending PDF files and shit. And then you got kid behind the camera and Twiggy or whatever. I was like, what did I do so bad, right? And then I was like, it had to be the money. That's the only thing I could wrap my mind around, you know, because the other thing that got me too is, you know, real quick, Zombie, can we talk about how you are so gay, Ken? I am a happy person. I'll tell you that right now. I'm very happy right now in my life. If you want to talk about how gay I am, Chubby Scorpion, he could talk to you about that too. So, Chubby, if you're in the chat, talk to Zombie. Huh?
Chubby's doesn't make any money.
Well, they're brand new, though. I was on there for 6 months. But the other thing, too, though, is like, you know, for a long time, or not a long time, I should take that back. For like a month or two, Keem was like, don't focus on the money, just focus on content. So we stopped focusing on money. We quit doing goals and all that shit. We just focused on content. And Keem even said, you've gotten a lot better as a host. And then I was gone. And every single time anyone brings up a show, it's always straight to the leaderboard. Let's check right on the leaderboard. And then Boogie's bitch ass, I got Playboard up.
And by the way, his views are just as good as what the current cafe lineup has right now. And as you can see, he's still building his channel. So when you look at the math on that, 759 views for a show that just ended 2 hours ago. Actually, it wasn't even that long ago, so I don't know how YouTube is doing its time calculations. But he has 1.81 members following him. But these are all people who have either been wronged or loved his show or both, or are reaction channels. I fall into a couple of different categories on that. I have been personally attacked by Billy and Xylee, and it was because I was giving them critical commentary on their channel, and she was getting really messed up. And I'm fairly certain that she tried to look into me, but because I'm not a member of their Discord, and I have absolutely no desire to be a member of their Discord at this point, after hearing all of the horror stories that seem to specifically target women most of the time, but sometimes they go after men as well. It sounds like a dangerous place. It doesn't sound like it'd be any fun at all. I have no desire to be there.
And there's fucking chicken playboard. See more money. Yeah, so that's the whole entire point I was trying to bring up. And I don't know how many fucking times I had to try to explain that, right? Especially to Billy, because he was the main one arguing with me about this. I don't know how many fucking times I had to explain. It's not about me. It's not about like me. Well, it is kind of about me. It's not about just me getting fired and that's it. It's about drawing the parallel of, since I didn't make money, that's why I was fired. But no one would say that. I was trying to say the quiet part out loud. I've always been that type of person. I will say the quiet part out loud because, you know, motherfuckers just, they try to like ignore what it actually really is and try to like reword things. Because, you know, talking about money is major taboo, right? Always doing all that shit. Or people that always talk about money, you know, they put up goals, but it's not about money. They do like, you know, super chat goals, membership goals. Talk about if we reach this, we'll do this milestone. But it's not about money, right? But okay, pop off, bro. That's not what it is. And if money's not my main motive factor, then why the fuck am I there? Zombie, Ken, you were just fired because you were boring as fuck, simple as that, and a bigger name came in, and that's fine.
No, you wouldn't be watching right now unless Billy came with trolls for his portion of the show. And by the way, he stayed through the entire show to argue with Ken's audience in the chat.
But the problem is, Zombie, if I made the threshold every single month, that would not have been a topic of conversation, right? That's it, bro. That's it. Because, you know, y'all do the dumbest shit for money, and that's fine. Y'all can do that. But I'm not here for money. And when I said the shit to you about your fiance or whatever, I was genuinely like, because you're in a lot of the shows, bro. And I just made a comment like, hey, damn, bro, like, I know I couldn't do that. It's my wife. So here's the other thing. I think he took that to heart. And Rastoff, if you're listening, like, I know you took that to heart. And if you did, I apologize, bro, genuinely. The thing is this, bro. Like, if I were to say that to, like, Keem or, like, a CEO or, like, you know, like, when I was overseas, right, there was contractors that did contract work and they were never home because they were working constantly. And I said, damn, I wish I could do what you did, but my wife would leave me. That's not a dig, bro. Like, generally, you hop on all the shows. You're always in the Discord, bro. And, yeah, you're one of the top people. You make a lot of money, yes. But I'm just saying, like, if you doing all that, bro, like, I don't have time to do what you do. Or else if I tried to make time to do what I do, my wife would leave me. Right? That's all I was saying. I wasn't trying to make a dig at you. I mean, I could say that about, like, being in the NBA or being in the NFL, right? Traveling on the road all the time, being a professional athlete. My wife wants me home. My wife wants me to spend time with her, right? It's not like she's, like, you know, on me all the time or, like, wants to be on my arm. But the thing is, like, it's not like if we're both in the same house, she's in one room 80% of the time and I'm in one room 80% of the time, right? That's all it was, bro. Like, I was not trying to take a dig at you. I was just saying you do a lot. I couldn't do what you do because I don't have that time. Because
Well, the reality is that his only value to the locale universe is as a fundraiser, because he is not an intelligent man and he has no content of value to offer to this network whatsoever. And he can't even identify when his co-host is a PDF file. He can't identify when his co-host is drunk driving. And he's being rewarded with multiple shows. What for? Like, what sob story did you tell Keem? I mean, Keem likes to reward the money, right? So he's a good fundraiser. He should really be in telesales because he's not an on-screen personality. He is completely unlikable at this point.
Try to make that time, my wife would leave me. I've said it to numerous people, so I'm sorry. Fucking leave me. And that's just a comment. If you take that personally,
dude, nobody that read that fucking thought it the way that you were saying it right now. Everyone was like, bro, fucking Ken's fucked up for saying that. You're trying to...
And I think a lot of reason why is because of the whole, like, me and Rastolf hate each other. That's probably why they said that. Like, let's just say if I said that to the lasting opinion, right? So I said it to Complexity. I was like, Plex, bro, you do so fucking much. I don't know if I could do what you do. Or I don't know, like, if I tried to do that, my wife would leave me. If you spend so much time doing your job and I try to do that, my wife would leave me. Probably be looked at a little bit differently, but since me and Rastolf always had this beef, that's probably why they said that, right?
Yeah, and the thing is that, I mean, things can be taken in such a way that they're harsher, maybe, than they were meant to be. But there is some insecurity that you hit by saying that. Do we even know if he really actually is in a relationship? Do we know if she's been supporting him for years on end, and that's why he basically took his sob story to Keem to make him community manager? Right? He's definitely not qualified to manage. First of all, that's a conflict of interest. Community managers should not also be the online personalities. These are different skill sets. And it's very clear that Rastolf is not a manager. He will not be fair with his friends. He just looks the other way. But he wants everybody else fired.
Is what it is.
You were implying that my woman should leave me because I spend so much time in the universe. Don't act like that's not what it was. Just be honest.
It wasn't. I swear to God. Look, here's the thing, bro. If I make a statement to you and you feel some type of way, that's a you problem. I know how I meant it, right? And I've always been like that, bro. I'm that type of person. If I say something to you, right? If this isn't a dig at Rastolf, this is just in general, right? This is just a general statement. If I say something to someone, if they feel some type of way about it, what I'm saying, because it hits something in them or whatever, that's not a me thing. They need to look inside themselves and see why my statement affected them. Obviously, if it's like hate speech or like, you know, some other shit, fine, I get that. But I don't just go and do hate speech to people, right? That's not me. I'm not that type of person. But like, you know, if like if I just, like say if I get a brand new car, right, and I'm just being funny or I'm being an asshole, like let's just say like I really want a Type R, right? I really want a Type R Honda Civic. If I get a Type R Honda Civic and someone has like a regular ass Honda Civic LX or something, and I'm like, or they admire my car, and I look at them and be like, yeah, bro, it's time for you to upgrade, right? If I say it's time for you to upgrade and get you a better car, are you going to take that to heart that I'm being an asshole because I have a Type R and you don't? I mean, that's how my mind works. That's how I meant it. Again.
Well, and on top of it too, he was largely responsible for pushing Twiggy over the edge the first go around, to the point where he was crashing out on other people's shows. Now, I'm not taking away the accountability of Twiggy, because he is definitely an online troll. And I had to ban him and 3 of his sock followers from my channel for leaving nasty comments that had nothing to do with the video. They were just digs at my age and shit. Again, where's the content? The thing is that Rostov takes that personally because he feels like he's now producing, he's providing for the girl if she exists, or who knows. But there was probably some strain on that relationship for what was going on, and I don't know what to say. I mean, as for Billy, I broke up with a boyfriend in 2012 who had a severe drinking problem, and he was arrested for drunk driving in my vehicle, which got impounded, by the way, and I had to pay to get my vehicle out, right? And I had to go pick him up from the jail, and then me and my mom had to drive him to work and back every day. And he had 2 jobs, so it had to be done in the morning, in the middle of the day, and then at night back home. We had to do this for a month because he lost all driving privileges for a month. And then after that, he had limited just to work and back home privileges, and he was required to go do the AA. During the remainder of the year, he still didn't do the AA. So, and he started really giving my son some shit. So I had a really hard time getting him out of my house and breaking up with him, because he was trying to say that because he lived there so long, he had the right to be there, and that the police would not help me. Which is probably true, you guys. The sheriff is not great to women who are abused.
If you took that wrong, my bad, bro. That was not the intent. Since 9 tenths of reality, as they say. So however you proceeded, and I apologize you took it that way. We were just talking and shit. And
so why you shit talk me so much on your show then, dude? Like, I literally look up my name, and it's like fucking 45 times one episode, like 30 something the other. Like, what is the deal?
A lot of times people ask questions, and I answer them. So I have to say your name when I answer the question. I mean, I can Voldemort you if you want to. I can do that. I mean, it's up to you. If you want to say, I won't say your fucking name anymore.
I just don't understand why.
Here's the thing, bro. Like, I'm not monetized right now, right? And I mean, I'm not saying this to mean anything, but normally in a chat, when people super chat a question, right, you answer the question. So since I'm not monetized, I just have to read the chat. And a lot of the conversation was around the LCU, was around what was going on, was around my thoughts to me getting fired. So his name is going to be brought up. So I just said his name to answer the question.
Well, the 3-headed monster likes to defame people. If one of the 3 of them feels threatened by somebody else on the network, they will defame them incessantly until they are fired or quit. And this has happened repeatedly in the time that I've been watching this network. That's why I can't watch their shows anymore. They're miserable people with no content. They're bitter all the time, and they're engaging in very destructive behavior. They have no business in any managerial roles whatsoever. It's absolutely disgusting.
I have to read the chat because I don't have anything to separate that from just normal chats, right? That's how I saw it. So, you know, again, bro, I'm not coming at you. I'm trying to further explain myself because I'm not, I guess, involved in it. I'm not doing anything else, right? I wasn't at work trying to just trying to stop work to talk to you, right? I wasn't involved in it. I'm just sitting here right now talking to the camera. I got time. So I'm just trying to help explain where I was coming from in case I missaid something that you took wrong. That's all this is.
Look at it was that you were salty about it, like, about getting fired, and still blame me. And like, I still get fucking people that were fans of you that attack me because of it, even though Keem has fucking said it was a troll.
I mean, but I've said it. Look, here's the thing, bro. I can't control people's emotions, how they feel about things, right? I said that it wasn't all on you, and I own the fact I didn't make any money. I own that. But the fact of the matter is, if people feel some type of way, they feel some type of way. I'm not responsible for how people feel about a situation. Look, because I'm not. Like, if I say something and someone in the audience takes it wrong, I mean, like, I can apologize. But if I make a statement and people in the audience feel a certain type of way about that statement, I'm not responsible for that. If I give an opinion and someone disagrees with me, like, they disagree with me, or if they agree with me, they agree with me. If I say a sentence and someone feels some type of way about that sentence, like, that's not my responsibility if it's truly how I feel about something. Again, that's just how I feel about it. There's people to this day that tell me they cannot watch Cafe because they missed me on it. And I'm like, y'all should still give it a chance. Tommy's excellent. Batgirl's good. Please give them a chance. Cafe is different, but it's still a great show. I still get that to this day, bro. I'm never going to shit talk, Cafe. That was it for me. And they're soaring now, and I'm happy to see the channel. I would have took it more to heart as if they rebranded the channel than keeping Cafe. I would have took that more to heart. But yes, that is true. If they took Cafe away and rebranded it to something else, I would have felt some type of way about that, it being removed and putting Tommy C in there. I've also said that if it had to go at anybody, if it was going to Tommy C, that made me feel a little better instead of like some random asshole in the Discord. You know what I mean? That's another way how I feel about it. But regardless of how it all happened, I feel some type of way about how it happened, right? That's not going to change anything, but that's a me problem. But if I'm asked about my opinion on it, I'm going to give my opinion. It is what it is. I mean, but like I said, bro, people ask me questions, I'm going to answer them. And if your name's in the question...
And the irony of all this is that you've got now Xylee, Billy, and Rastoff complaining to Keem that these other channels are popping up, like Savage Life Media and KenCaint, that are covering the locale universe, right? There are a lot of reaction channels that cover other channels, have commentary about it, want to discuss how we feel about what we've watched. That's not unusual. In fact, that's something that Xylee prides herself in as a content creator, so she says. I mean, from what I've seen, she doesn't know shit and just likes to ask Pat her friends, right? Like the Eugenia Cooney episode she did was completely unreasonable given what has gone on with Eugenia in the last couple of years. So, I don't even, they are losing their shit right now because too many people have figured them out, and they assumed that their audience was stupid. They assumed that we wouldn't put all the pieces together and realize what they were doing. It's a damn shame, because if Keem really cared about his universe, he wouldn't let them dominate 6 hours of it, and certainly not during primetime hours.
So I'm going to say your name. Like, I'm sorry.
So your whole show is like people asking you questions about me. Is that what it is? Is your fans just nonstop talk about me then, and you can't do anything about it?
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to where Billy comes in. Because, I mean, I'm not going to say me and Rastoff loop, but we kind of talk about the same thing over and over again. And, again, I'm not here to dog Rast. Billy the Fridge, what's up, bro? Welcome to the stream, Billy. Welcome to the stream, Billy. I'm just going to skip ahead because, like,
He's so nice, you know, he's so nice and welcoming. He's been nice to everybody within that universe. And when he offers his criticism, he's very fair about it. There's not a lot of, you know, animosity behind the way he presents information. But these three are emotionally incompetent people who are destroying the network. The three of them are absolutely destroying the network. And, you know, there are certain shows I won't watch just because I don't like that style of humor. Like, for instance, I don't want to watch Queens. Tina's lying all the time. It's slapstick humor. And their new one, Gidgey, did some highly inappropriate blackface and kept going deeper into that stereotype. It was ugly and it's not entertaining. But I only catch bits and pieces of it from the other shows that are also talking about what's in the universe, which, by the way, is something that Keem wanted. He wanted all of the shows to talk about the other shows, to reinforce that you should then watch the other show for the reaction. So why was Billy so threatened by Ken that he got Rastoff riled up, and Xylee was probably just as freaked out as well? Ken was doing a better job. He was covering more material, more stories, and he was doing it without being personally affected by what he was covering. Like, this happened and this happened. Wow, that kind of sucks. You know, he wasn't making shit up and exaggerating. Like the shit that Xylee said about Savage when she wanted to get her fired. She seems to be the only person who can say what happened. Nobody else within the universe has corroborated her story.
I'm here to dog out Rastoff. I'm not here for that. I'm not here to critique or go in. There was some stuff I just wanted to explain because, again, like I told Rastoff, I'm gonna respect his time right now and what he's going through. I'm not trying to add to it. I'm just trying to explain certain parts that I said because, again, I was preoccupied at work. I stopped trying to do all this shit. I had shit on my brain, whatever, right? So, all right, here we go. Here's where Billy comes in. With you and King Charles conversations, this is leading me to believe that y'all may have some conversations. Do I 100% know that? No, I'm just going off what I see.
So you're saying that when I say to you that it doesn't happen, I'm lying is what I'm getting from you, right? You think I'm lying?
No, I'm not saying you're lying.
Well, you are, because I said they don't happen, and you said, well I don't 100% know that. And I'm like, well, I'm 100% telling you they don't happen.
One thing I'll say about that is I can believe something, but it's hard to believe it. I'm sure everybody in the chat can attest. There's some point in their life where something happened that it was hard for them to believe, but they still believed it. I mean, that's just common. That's commonplace. Just because you believe something doesn't mean you have to 100% believe it. There's still just a thing where it's like...
Yeah, it's because, you know, we all approach life with our own worldview, our own perceptions of things. And how would I react if I was in their shoes, right? And if I cannot understand how they are reacting to me and my behavior, then that's when I start trying to analyze it and figure out what is wrong with them. And what we've deduced is that Xylee cannot function without Billy. She is not successful on her own channel. Billy has a drinking problem and an eating disorder. He's over 600 pounds. He's had heart surgery. You've got Rastoff, who is a talentless hack and begged for the opportunity because he has no other income and has to give up his disability income in order to be a part of this network.
Holy shit. I understand it's here. I get it, but it's just hard to believe. That's where I'm not calling you a liar, bro. It's just hard to believe. But here we go. The young Bill Fridge. Here we go. It's hard to believe.
So you're saying I'm a liar is what you're saying?
I'm saying it's hard to believe.
And
I'm not
that I'm lying
You
about
keep
it.
bringing up Playboard like you didn't use Playboard all the time when you were at the top.
Yes.
When you were getting your gifteds,
Bro,
and you were
bro.
begging for gifteds all the time.
Hey,
You had no
Ken-
problem running to Playboard when you were at the top with your gifteds that month. Remember?
Why are we gang
You
banging?
love-
All right, so when it comes to the Playboard whole thing, since Mr. Fridge is here, there was 1 month we were up on gifted memberships. 1 month. And I was like, holy shit, we're actually somewhere in the leaderboard. I was like, hey, if y'all can help us maintain that, that'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate it. Right? 1 month we did that. And we were number 2, I think, at the end. And I was like, holy shit. But the thing is, because of the money and the standards that Keemstar has put on all the shows, I literally had to do some type of grifting. I literally had to. I hated every fucking second of it. Because yes, I was never here for the money. The reason why I wanted to be a host in the LCU, because I was there from day one. I love what Keem built, and the fact that I could be a host on his network, that I was there from the beginning and witnessed him build and expand and evolve. The fact that I could be a host on there was fucking awesome to me. Bro, I didn't give a damn about the money. And I still hold that to this day. Now, should I have made it more to where I did enjoy the money or I did need the money? Maybe. But I would also feel like I was being disingenuous, right? Because I'm way too prideful of a person. And yes, Billy, I did do some of the dumb shit. I ate garbage. I drank A1 sauce. I did do all of that. You know why, bro? Because behind the scenes, it was like, if y'all don't make more money, you're going to get canceled. And I cared enough about the fucking show to where I did bend the knee a little bit and do some of the dumb shit in order to try to stay on the show or try to stay in the network. Yes, I did do that. But when Keem said, stop focusing on the money and focus on content, a lot of that stopped. It just did, bro. So, I mean, you can say I did some of the dumb shit. And I freely admit I did do some of the dumb shit. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, and on top of it, Xylee should have some compassion for that argument as well, given that she states that she was not drinking for much of her adult life and just started again at fat camp. And the way she drinks is like a teenager who's trying it for the first time, doesn't understand their limits, and ends up either cry hugging everybody and say, I love you, you're so good, I'm so sorry that we ever had any arguments before now, or tears into them with threats like she did to Sweet Tea. She can't. They both have serious problems. By the way, she's a type 2 diabetic. She's not supposed to be touching alcohol like that at all. But alas.
Ken, do you think Billy gives good hugs? I don't know what you're talking about that. Maybe it's because you think I'm gay, but whatever. Alex, no Reaper. Yeah, no, I'm not going on Reaper. I'm gonna stay here and focus on KenCaint. That's what I'm gonna focus on.
Yeah, see, Billy flooded Ken's chat today with trolls. Because why would he go on Reaper when Xylee spent a week trying to get him fired in the first place? She would show up on Cafe with him when Batgirl got moved to Locale Live and would show up miserable and unprepared every single episode and complain that she wasn't getting enough sleep. Yet now she's doing a similar schedule. So I don't know how that was truly an argument, right, Xylee? I know you guys watch me.
But yeah, so let's continue.
Playing the game when you win, but then you cry when you lose. You say, Ken, why did Ken fire me? He didn't fire Billy. He didn't fire Gidgey. He didn't fire all these other people. Maybe it's because it's you, Ken. People like you, Ken. but they don't like watching you the way they like watching Psycho Gidgy or Crazy Billy or flipping
Well, maybe you should consider what kind of people you were drawing to your channel. First of all, I don't think that's a great place to start your conversation right now, given that your numbers have been dropping. To the point that Keem said he's not even going to talk about the leaderboard anymore. Savage covered this last night. They have pretty much fallen off. The Three-Headed Monster, all of their shows have fallen off.
wild sweet tea. Like, take a look at yourself and accept some accountability.
And I did. I straight up said I didn't make money. I've said that multiple times. I just want to show this real quick. Here we go, Billy. Here we go. Very first stream, bro. Very first stream back. I think it's a point of, like, if we talk about all the other shows and critique all the other shows, you have to talk about Cafe. And what is the one constant on Cafe? Me. And Cafe just did not make money. It just didn't. It's a fact. And Keem had his bottom line of what he wanted all the shows to make as far as safe, which was $15,000 a month. If you were at $10,000 a month, then he would keep you, but look at ways to fix you, right? I think we hit 10K twice in 6 months. I think something like that. I don't know. You can go back, but why are you doing this about Rastoff living my life? Again, I think he was trying to be fair to talk about all the other shows, but I do think he was the one that said, maybe Ken need to go. It may have been brought up by him, and I'm sure that he didn't defend me. He didn't defend me at all, and I said that. And after we had that conversation, Billy, you were in the fucking call. I said that, and I owned up to the fact that I didn't make money. But he did bring it up on the stream first. He wasn't one that brought us up, and he started that whole conversation. So as far as blame, I give him 70%. No, that's not fair. I'll give him 50, and I'll take the other 50. The reason why I'm going to tell you, Joe, what up, bro? The reason I'm going to take the other 50 is because it was my show. It was up to me to perform. It was up to me to make sure that Cafe was doing what it needed to do in order to stay successful. So I'm going to take that. I'll take that blame. But is that accountability, Billy? Is that accepting some form of accountability, Billy? That was my first stream back, bro. My first stream back. Does that look like accountability, Billy? As far as pushing it and not defending me and putting the idea that I needed to go, I'll put that on Rastoff. So I'll say it's 50-50, me and him. Because I have to take some accountability, right? I have to take some accountability. Accountability of I didn't perform well. And I didn't perform well, and I had to figure it out, and I had 6 months to perform well. I didn't perform well, I had to figure it out, and I had 6 months to perform well, Billy. Is that accountability? Is that accountability enough for you, bro? There's no such thing as halfway accountability. Beautiful, bro. Beautiful. All right. Well, fine.
Wow, dude.
I didn't put it all on nobody, and I own my part of it, right? And that was my very first stream back, and I straight up said that whatever, 50% accountable. Beautiful. Well, thank you.
I prefer Ken on his own channel because he's unrestrained. He can cover all of the topics he wants to cover, which is not just LCU material. He's still covering other stories out there that exist in other areas of the world, right now, and I appreciate that. It's like your morning newspaper, and that, I think, is what he wanted to do every morning, is have like a morning newspaper. Billy is hypersensitive right now because he knows he fucked up, and his numbers are dropping. So he wants to be like, yeah, but Ken's numbers were worse. Whatever, dude. The three of you, your days are numbered. You know that Keem likes fundraisers. He likes people who get the donos, who get the membership drives, and so on and so forth. So what do your numbers look like? How is it that as soon as you guys start performing poorly, he decided it's not that important anymore?
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for acknowledging I was at least halfway accountable. All right, let's continue. Because I'm not.
Ain't about money. You weren't entertaining enough to hold the audience.
Yes, it is. It's not. Fuck you. It is about money.
You think you're super? It's about money. It's about money.
So are you saying you're halfway responsible for your life and rest off my life? No, bro. I'm responsible for my life. 100% responsible for I'm not doing this back and forth over a fucking chat, bro. Like, I know you're not going to come on the show because you're Mr. Fuck. I'm in the LCU. You're not. Fuck you. You come to me. That's fine, Billy. You do that, bro. I'm going to continue the show. You can comment if you want to. But, some of us like to keep it 100%. I do keep it 100% because that's my thoughts and feelings. Now, here's something else I wanted to actually bring up. Let me see if I can find it. In fact,
by the way, Billy stayed in the chat trying to defend himself for the rest of Ken's episode. I'm not going to cover the whole thing because I don't want to go over an hour with this one, but I might circle back for the Michelangelo bullshit. Again, he was involved in it. He and Rostov and Xylee, who, by the way, how dare you, girl? You are a lesbian woman, and you allowed Rostov to have homophobia thrown at him and to be tortured for over 2 months. But I'll cover that in another video.
I don't want to show the Discord on here because, I'm not in the LCU anymore and I'm not trying to do that. But here's the message I sent, right? Here's the message I sent. We all know what it was. By the way, just to bend the knee and concede, I'm not entertaining. I suck. I should have never been a host here. My bad. I wasted y'all's time. And a morning slot for 6 months. I'm trash and I apologize for wasting y'all's time. Then at the very bottom, I said, screenshot that for your show's host. By that little sentence at the bottom, I thought people would have took that as sarcasm. Then what did I say, right? Now I need to bend the knee, so I'm bending the knee. I said that, right? And then I said, I'll wear my L with pride. And then what did I say? This is all before you can look at the times. And then I said, one person's opinion here matters, so I have to bend the knee to them. So there you go. Whoever that person is, you know who you are. I said that in the Discord before I hopped up on Cafe. I was being fucking sarcastic, mister. It's easy for you to come up here now and say that. Bro, if y'all would have read everything I was saying, I think I would have put out there that I was being sarcastic. But if y'all didn't understand that I was me being sarcastic, I'm taking full accountability that I need to learn how to be sarcastic better. Fine, bro. Fine.
It doesn't even matter, Ken. They are crashing and burning and just looking for distractions, looking for people that they can bitch and complain about so that people will stop looking at the drunk driving, stop looking at the PDF shit that Rostov got engaged with in protecting out of CD-ROM. Stop looking in the fact that Xylee has absolutely nothing to offer the network whatsoever and keeps trying to get people fired. They want to have you look the other way, as always.
Brother, why every single time? Call Billy in a private Discord call. No, I'm not doing that. He's already said he's not coming on this show. So, that's fine. When they bring up shows and all this shit.
Well, then why the hell were you in the comments section, Billy? Why were you there with your trolls harassing Ken's viewership? Go home. Go to AA. Go handle your problems before you actually get pulled over and can't pass that breathalyzer.
fucking Boogie brings up his playboard and they go to leaderboards every single time.
He's obsessed with money.
You did the same thing when you were getting the W on the leaderboard, dude. You act like that never happened.
Billion to defend Rast.
And when I did that, like I said before, Billy, I always said I show the leaderboard for the audience. They can see where they have us at, and I appreciate y'all putting us up there. And that was it, bro. That was it. It's the only time I ever showed it.
Tough because he won't let him fight his own battles.
And I was fighting my battle just fine. There's no problem with that, but he talks shit about Billy too. It's fine.
But okay, but Bill, like, can I just be devil? Because it's kind of unfair for him to come up here and get teamed.
Can I say something? Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
My name's been in his mouth too. That's why I'm here. I sit back watching for the last 20 minutes.
Buff episode, so let Buff talk.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead, Buff.
No. I just it's like Rewind's next.
I don't know if the comments will process later and you'll be able to see what Billy was doing in his comment section throughout this show. But if it does load later, you should definitely check it out. I might come back and cover the section that he did on the Aussie episode where Michelangelo accused Billy and Rostov of encouraging him to complain that he had been cheated by Nightmare. I mean, they had targeted Nightmare for months, and somehow he is the only guy that survived it. That survived the incessant harassment and attempts at sabotage. So, anytime you see them jump on a show and pretend to like somebody, just remember that's all they're doing. They're just pretending. I'll give you the link if you want to watch this whole episode, and I might come back and cover the Nightmare part of it. Hope you guys all have a happy Friday. Cheers.